What television series had the biggest bullshit finale? Please end Grey's Anatomy before it ends us. I saw someone online say Grey's Anatomy is One Piece for middle-aged white women. Ha 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 ha. Those type of comparisons crack me up. Bitcoin is just MLM for dude bros, wrestling is just soap operas for hillbillies. But yeah, that show has been going on for way too long. Grey's Anatomy, that is. One Piece is ending soon. IPAs are the pumpkin spice lattes of hipster men. Got, biggest load of codswallop on TV. Dexter, twice. Let's bring our show back so we can do another ending. But this time, let's wipe away any sense of self-awareness from the main character and have him be basically a raving lunatic by the last few episodes. And have him caught by a detail that never happened and pile stupid coincidences on top of each other rather than bothering with an ounce of intelligence for any characters. Got and How I Met Your Mother are the obvious answers. Star Trek, Enterprise. Hey, let's make the last episode a holodeck episode about two characters that aren't even in the show. Then for the coup de grace we can needlessly kill off someone at random. The second to last episode is a decent finale. Just pretend that's the last episode. Game of Thrones. No debate. No close runner-up. No argument against. End of discussion. Good day. Duck DD to all 7 hells and back. Edit, for anyone in the replies defending the showrunners, I got 2 words for you, Star Wars. GRRM and HBO wanted the show to go on for at least 10 seasons, but DD wanted to move on and make Star Wars films. And instead of passing the torch over to other experienced and passionate showrunners who would have followed George's wishes, they decided to end it early with 2 final rushed seasons, all to make some Star Wars films they never even got to make to this day. How I Met Your Mother. Any and all character development was undone. Barney went back to being a womanizer, and Ted, who spent the whole series coming to terms that Robin wasn't right for him, went running back to Robin. Awful finale. That's what gets me. I could handle the ending if it made sense with the characters' arcs, but no, they said let's reset this to how everyone was at the beginning and it made no sense. I remember reading something about the writers had always intended this, and for the show to wrap up in 4 or so seasons. I feel like I would have accepted the ending a lot more if they hadn't spent another 4 seasons reiterating why Ted and Robin don't work. Should have left Supernatural at Dean living a normal life. Still laughing about Superhell though. Seriously, who comes up with this crap? My friend was telling me to watch this show. He just said it only gets more ridiculous. Apparently the writers kept trying to quit and thought they were getting cancelled, so they kept throwing shit at the wall and all of it stuck. I think it's safe to say that power creep became an issue. At a certain point, it's nearly impossible to realistically fight the next big bad. They went from dealing with a demon to fighting the first demon to fighting Lucifer to fighting primordial monsters to fighting angels to fighting God's sister to eventually fighting God. Somewhere along the way, these normal dudes probably stopped being the most effective solution to these problems. Before demons, it was random supernatural monsters and ghosts. Demons were a big deal at one time. Then they became random mooks. It's crazy they were gonna do a spin-off of this show. They had lightning in a bottle and they did not want to let it go. Edit, they did make the spin-off, thank you Reddit. Show was at its best as a monster of the week episodic series. Modern media has become a competition of who can beat their dead horse the hardest. I'd that one episode where Loki or someone traps Sam in a time loop to desensitize him to Dean dying. Lives rent-free in my head. It was the heat of the moment. I mean, Game of Thrones definitely shat the bed. The writers admitted to half-assing it, and it really blows to see so many people's work go up in flames because 2 egomaniacs decided the hottest show in the world was suddenly beneath them. Gotta mention How I Met Your Mother as well. We were shown over and over again Ted and Robin wouldn't work, yet here we are. I really love the idea of Barney Robin being a happy child-free couple too. That concept is so rare. They had a setup for something really satisfying and decided not to stay with it. I mean, Game of Thrones definitely shat the bed. The writers admitted to half-assing it, and it really blows to see so many people's work go up in flames because 2 egomaniacs decided the hottest show in the world was suddenly beneath them. I'm so ducking happy those 2 twats lost a Star Wars movie because of their fuck-up with God. Heroes. The original story was planned for 1 season. Just watch the first season and pretend the rest didn't happen. Sylar was a great villain. Zachary Quinto is a phenomenal actor. The 100, the whole last season was messed up. Honestly, the reason I stuck with watching the 100 is because it got more and more ridiculous with each season. Just when you thought the character motivations couldn't be any less consistent, they'd take it up a level. By the end, the writers were almost explicit in how many sharks they were jumping and seemed to revel in it. I loved that show, and it ended just as stupidly as it should have. Anybody else using this thread to prevent themselves from beginning any of these shows? Pretty Little Liars. I am still so mad at how bad the ending of that show was. The real problem with Pretty Little Liars was none of the girls were nearly interesting enough to warrant stalking from Big A, Uber A, and everyone working with the A's. Basically, the whole town was desperate to track these girls' every move, and they just weren't really doing that much outside of worrying who is tracking them. I haven't watched this show, but sounds like all setups and no payoff. There was a once pretty famous Spanish TV sitcom called Los Serrano, about a Spanish family, and it ran for 5 years. They basically turned the plot into a shit show with the wife of the protagonist dying, 2 of his children involved in incest, and the other ending up in juvie. Pretty dark stuff for a comical sitcom. In the final episode, the father went to end his life, and when he does it, he just wakes up as if nothing happened. Nothing is in the actual whole 8 seasons. It was just a dream. That's the ending, the guy waking up at the start of the series to a normal ducking family. Which was also extremely weird because his children were obviously grown up but were put in kids' clothing and hairstyles and acted like kids. To this day, this is still referenced in Spain as a meme. It was very popular in Finland also. I was teen and learned Spanish because of that show, and then the last episode aired and I just stopped practicing Spanish. I felt so devastated. The Last Man on Earth, awesome show, didn't know they were getting cancelled, left us with a major cliffhanger that was never resolved. To be fair, at least it ended with Tandy saying, "Oh, farts." I still laugh at his name being changed to Tandy. I can never remember the actor's name, and unfortunately it's been permanently replaced in my brain by Tandy. I guess remembering brilliant actor names just isn't your will forte. You mean Tandy? Killing Eve. Scrubs ended on a great high note with a goodbye to the main cast and crew, only to be brought back for a final season as a crappy spin-off disguised as Scrubs. That's because Scrubs Med School was supposed to be a spin-off, but ABC executives decided, in their infinite wisdom, to market it as a new season instead of a new spin-off as originally intended by showrunner Bill Lawrence. It's sad because the season was actually decent. The only problem is that it wasn't Scrubs. Had they called it the spin-off that it was, I think it would have easily gone several seasons. They had a little something there. Got first 7 seasons, houses fighting long wars for years to see who should sit on the Iron Throne. Got season 8 last 5 minutes, how about Bran? Everyone, OK.jpg. Sansa, the North will be independent representatives from the Iron Islands and Dorne just sit there. Bran proves his political acumen by immediately giving his only real support total independence without asking anything in return, because his sister said so. Like the rest of Westeros is going to go along with that? Of course they will. After all, who has a better story than Bran? All of Westeros, who? Merlin. Absolute garbage, on top of season 5 itself being pretty stinky, and I'm still willing to get mad about it 11 years later. Christ, don't get me started. I adored that series, but the fact that we never get to see Arthur and Merlin as Arthur and Merlin pisses me off to no end. Last 10 minutes of the whole damn series is what we get? And Arthur acting like a pissy bitch for 9 of them? God damn it. I only watched the first 3 seasons, I think, but does Arthur really have any mode other than pissy bitch?